This is Dave LeClaire, and we're here to take a look at the Oculus Quest 2, which just might be the greatest virtual reality headset. However, I personally am not a fan of virtual reality. I think it is a cheap, overrated gimmick. So will this wireless virtual reality headset turn my opinion around and make me a VR believer? Or is it all just hype? You are gonna have to watch the review to find out, because if I told you right now, there'd be no point in you watching the rest of this video. So before we can take a look at the Oculus Quest 2, we need to take a look at it, i.e. we need to open up the box. So let's look over there to the unboxing. All right, friends, loved ones, hated enemies, everyone in between. It's time to crack open the Oculus Quest 2. Should have taken the plastic off. Ooh, look at that. They include a little rip tab to take the plastic off. So, plastic removed. Let's go inside the box. And here we have the Oculus Quest 2. The headset itself. This is the foam that I'm going to sweat profusely all over as I play Beat Saber and other various Oculus games. So now that we got this bad boy all opened up and unboxed, let's talk about the reasons why you may want to purchase the Oculus Quest 2. What if I told you that it functions as both a wired and a wireless virtual reality headset? So you can use the Quest 2 with or without a cable, depending on your preferences. If you connect it to a computer, you get some different experiences. You can use Steam, you can use the full Quest store. If you don't connect it to a computer, you're not tethered to anything. You can play games that are available on that store, the separate non-tethered store. And some of the games have cross-buy, some of them don't, so it'll depend on certain games. For example, Beat Saber, which is the only game that I really enjoy playing on the virtual reality headset, is not cross-buy. So if you purchase it mobilely, you have to buy it again if you want to get it on the computer. I bought it mobile, so that's the version that I have, because I'm not gonna buy it again. As much as I like the game, I'm not gonna pay for it twice. Now, where things get crazy is with the cable. The Oculus Link cable costs $80. It's a USB 3 cable, and you do get the best performance from USB 3, but $80 for a cable. Kind of reminds me of back in the day when you used to go buy a TV at Best Buy and they would try to sell you one of those monster HDMI cables.
Oh, dude, trust me, you really need this cable. It's got the gold tips. It'll keep your video looking like so much gooder and stuff.
I don't know, man. That seems really expensive just for a cable.
Oh man, it's just $120. Would I ever lead you astray? Look at these gold tips.
Fortunately, just like in the old days, there's plenty of cheaper alternatives. You can get a cable from Anchor on Amazon. It's about 1/3 the price, and in my experience, it works perfectly fine. So if you do get a Quest 2 and you decide you want to hook it up to the computer, make sure to hit the link in the description below, because we will thank you. What if I told you that it only costs $299? It is a fantastic piece of hardware overall, and at $299, it blows my mind. It is better than the computer-based Rift S in just about every category. If you are looking to get a headset and you want the Oculus set and you don't want to spend the absurd money that Valve charges for its headset, this is a no-brainer. You could just stop watching this review right now. This is the headset to buy. Basically, to put this difference into perspective, buying the Rift S would be like paying $100 to be tied up, unable to move, and confined. Now, if you're into that, that's your business. I won't judge. But I think it's better to save your $100 and be free. What if I told you that in spite of being cheaper than the Oculus Rift S, it features higher resolutions in each of your eyes? Quest features an impressive 1832 by 1920 resolution per eye. That's crazy. It's crazy that they managed to squeeze so many pixels into such small little lenses. Although technically it's not squeezed into the lenses. In this case, there's not two separate screens. There's one large LCD screen that both lenses are focused in on. So that's how you get the higher resolution per eye, is you actually have two lenses focused on one screen with that resolution. Additionally, the Quest 2 supports 60, 72, and 90 Hz refresh rates, while the Rift S only supports 80 Hz refresh rate. So you get more flexibility in terms of the frame rates developers can offer for their games. Fine, you're still not sold? What if I told you that it offers 6 degrees of freedom without any of those stupid trackers around the corner of your rooms? It uses just the cameras on the headset and the touch controllers. It can even track your fingers, so you can actually use the Quest 2 without having a controller hooked up, which is super awesome and super useful. It makes it so if you want to browse the web, let's say, for some certain type of content that is available in virtual reality and not in other places, you catch what I'm saying? You can do that without having to hold the controller. You can use your fingers to navigate the web, and you can pinch, which really brings the experience to life. And you can still use the Guardian to draw out your room and move around as you play games with the Quest 2. So don't think just because there's no trackers along the corners of your room, you're not going to be able to move around. You get the full range of movement. You can set a stationary Guardian for games like Beat Saber that work with that. But if you want to play a game where you move around, as long as you've properly drawn your Guardian around the room, you will have no issues with that. Speaking of the controllers, what if I told you that they've been redesigned with improved ergonomics? So I never used the original Oculus Touch controllers, so I can't speak to how much the redesign has really changed the controllers, but I can say that the controllers feel good. I mean, they're comfortable, moving around feels good, you can move your fingers, all the buttons are placed in logical positions. It's just a well-designed pair of controllers. I really have no complaints about them, and the battery life on them is ridiculous. I still have 100% battery in each AA on each controller. After using it for a few hours, it hasn't moved at all. I've charged the headset like 15 times since then, and the controllers, they're still working perfectly at 100%. What if I told you that you don't even need headphones because they have speakers that sit closer to your ears and create spatial audio that is a little bit tinny, I'm not gonna lie. The sound on the speakers is not so great. As mentioned, it's a little tinny, so any bass is not really gonna blow your mind, but if you do pull it down over your ears, it does create a fairly immersive experience thanks to the fact that they have been improved over the original Quest and they now sit closer to your ears. If you want the most immersive experience, you're gonna wanna use headphones with noise canceling ideally. But if you want to be able to hear the world around you, the sound on this will do the job. But if you really want to get into the VR and enter the Matrix and give up on your normal life and just become a virtual reality machine, you're gonna wanna use a pair of headphones. The Quest 2 is moderately comfortable. It doesn't sit as well on your head as other VR headsets because it uses just a cloth strap. They do sell an accessory that gives you that more skull-hugging experience that really keeps the headset in place. Another small issue with the headset, which is not a deal breaker, it comes with the PD settings of it. So that's how wide your pupils are. And basically there's 3 settings that you can click the lenses to, and if your PD is not one of those 3, it's gonna look slightly off. You're never gonna get the full experience, the full clearness of the image that you would get if you match the PD, whereas like the Rift S has a slider that can hit all the ranges of PDs that match your eyes perfectly. When you are at the widest PD, the field of view gets a little smaller. You can see a tiny bit of black around the edge of the screen. It's very negligible, it's not a deal breaker, but it is something that you may notice if you're using the widest PD, which I am, because I have a big wide head. So now we come to the end of the review, the question that you all want to know. Should you buy the Quest 2? If you are sold on the concept of VR, this is gonna be the best headset you're gonna get. It has a couple minor flaws, the PD, the speakers are a little bit tinny. There's some minor problems, but overall this headset is great. The hardware is well made, it's comfortable, the games look good, what few games there are. So I give this an extremely confused 4 out of 5 as far as the headset goes. And the reason that's a confused 4 out of 5 is because I'm not entirely sold on the concept of virtual reality as a whole yet. But if you are, I can say without a doubt that the Oculus Quest 2 is one of the best VR headsets you're gonna get. So if you think that VR is a technology that you wanna play around with, I can definitely recommend going out and scooping up this headset. You're still watching? Well, while you're here, why don't you subscribe to TheGamer? We got all kinds of other videos that'll keep you entertained and maybe even inform you of something. So if you're still here watching at this point, you know you liked it. I mean, you watched all the way to the end. You're watching the end screen right now as we speak. You're looking at some links to other videos and a screen that says subscribe. So just click the button, all right?